Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David and this is Winner's Dice. All right, Winner's Dice. This is from Secret Factory. What is it? It's a gimmick die. It is a gimmicked die, plain and simple. You want to roll a 1 every time, you can roll a 1 every time. You want to roll a 2 every time, you can roll a 2. Whatever you want, okay? 1 through 6, you name it, you rig it, it'll roll it for you. The die comes ready to go to roll a single number, but you're gonna get all the equipment, all the tools to change that number on the fly, even if you wanted to, and you could roll any number you like. Use it for mentalism, use it for prediction effects, use it for your own creative, pick a number between 1 through 6 tricks. The sky's the limit, whatever you want. But you don't want to spend your hard-earned money without having all the facts. That's why I'm talking to you, that's why you're listening. Let's get into this review. All right, you've always wanted a loaded dice, but you've been kind of holding out. Wanted to see what else was out there, so let me tell you about this. You order it, it comes to you in the mail. You're gonna get a small little cardboard box. Cardboard box says Winner's Dice on the cover. Inside, you're gonna get a single die, okay? You're gonna get one. You're gonna get a little tiny drawstring bag. You're gonna get the link to the download code. Downloaded video is roughly 29 minutes long, and you're gonna get 2 secret gimmicks. Ooh. Is it what I thought? I don't know. I don't know if it's what I thought. I mean, you have a lot of different ways you can make a loaded die, but most loaded die always land on the same number, right? This will land on whatever number you pick. And it's possible, it's not as reliable, but it's possible to even change that number on the fly. So the science behind it, the methodology behind it is kind of unknown to me because I really can't see what's inside the die and they never really tell you. How are the angles? Performance angles are clean, okay? There's nothing on you. There's nothing like thread or anything like that that the spectator would see. That's performance angles. There are some behind the scenes, let's call them dirty work. There's some behind the scenes things that you have to do that are requirements, okay? And those could be restrictive, and we'll talk about that. Can it be inspected? Yes, the die can be inspected in advance. It could even be pre-rolled by the spectator, and the spectator can roll a different number every single time. How's the video? All right, so what's the overall quality and production value? A guy named JJ sits down at a table. It's a over the table camera shot. It's a tile counter with a mat. There's some music in the background that's kind of annoying. It's not really needed. And the teacher has a thick accent, but it doesn't get in the way. As far as what they're gonna teach you, they're gonna go over what's in the box, how to use it. It does come ready to force a single number, like I said, but you can change it. And then halfway through the video, they teach you a couple of tricks. And then you wanna stick around to the very end because they say something extremely useful at the very end that they probably should have told you up front. But hang around to the end because they're gonna go through some troubleshooting and you might run into some trouble with this. It might not always roll the same number and you're gonna wanna know why. They're gonna tell you why at the very end, but it's an easy workaround. Is it well made? It's very well made. Originally the die came out last year. There was some problems with it and they had to pull all of those off the shelves and then retool it. This new version, I've had both versions. This new version is extremely reliable. It looks exactly like a real die. And I would just say be careful with it. Be careful with the die and be careful with the gimmicks. I was not careful with my first set of gimmicks and they broke first day, okay? So be careful with your gimmicks. As far as how much practice is required, very little practice. I could change the number on the fly as many times as I wanted to and I got it to work 100% of the time, 100% of the time. It only works 100% of the time if you do the right thing 100% of the time. If you don't do the right thing, then it won't work. Does that make sense? And even though they teach you in the video how to change the forcing number in front of the spectator, right? Change it on the fly, that's not something I would do. I am not that kind of performer. I would rather test everything before I walk into my environment. And I know that when I roll that die, it's gonna land on 5 or 6 or whatever my number is, right? I'm gonna test it behind the scenes so that when I approach my spectator and we're ready to go, I know it's gonna work 100% of the time. So I wouldn't do it to where the number changes. I wouldn't use the die as a magic trick. I would use the die as a tool. And we'll get into that too. How much setup and reset is there? 3 seconds. 3 seconds. You can change the number on the die to force another number in 3 seconds. So if you got 3 seconds, you can reset it. Positives, like I was saying, it's a good tool, okay? It is a good tool. In other words, you should have a trick right now where you say, pick a number between 1 and 6. Okay, let's think of the paddle trick, okay? The paddle trick is a pick a number between 1 and 6 trick, okay? And you have equivocate so that the person picks a 3 or a 4. That's where you want them to pick. You got equivocate for all your outs, but you really want them to pick 3 or 4. Now you can actually make them pick 3 or 4, right? And the die becomes an add-on to another effect. I wouldn't do this trick with just the die, because then all the heat is there. You want all the heat to be somewhere else. You want all the heat to be on an object that isn't gimmicked, okay? So I think it's a good tool. I think it works great. If it doesn't work 100% of the time, it works 98% of the time, okay? And most magicians, we understand that none of our gimmicks work 100% of the time. And when they don't, we have an out for that, right? Making mistakes only looks like what you're doing more realistic, okay? So don't worry. It's a great tool, looks realistic, looks exactly like it should. Your spectator can handle it. They can even roll the die. Lots of good news there. Negatives, if I were gonna say something negative about it, there are some restrictions about your performance area, okay? There are a couple things you need that are not included. Number one, you need the glass. You need the receptacle. Now it can be any glass, more than likely. It can be a clear glass, or it can be a plastic glass. Okay, you need some sort of receptacle. It could be a shot glass, it could be a Yahtzee cup, right? You need some sort of receptacle. And there's a second thing you need. You need a close-up pad or some sort of covering. It can't just be the glass and the table. There has to be something else, okay? So you need those 2 items. So this probably feels more like you're doing close-up with a table, close-up with a mat. Okay. Now, it could be your regular card mat that you've been doing card tricks on this entire time, and it won't interfere with any of your card tricks. But you will need some sort of mat or some sort of coaster down on the table. Is it worth your money? It's $40. $40, you're getting a gimmick die and a 29-minute video. I think just weigh the options and see if this is right for you. As far as people who would like this, I think people who need a die or they need an option for someone to choose a number between 1 and 6, I think would love this, because now you don't need equivocate. Now you can just use a die and be ready to go. You don't need 6 outs anymore. Now you just need 1. So I think this would work great for a magician or a seasoned pro who knows exactly where this tool would fit in their routine. All right, that's pretty much everything I can say about winner's dice from Secret Factory. I want to thank hocus-pocus.com for allowing me to have this so that I can do the review for you. And if you would like to purchase it for yourself, head on down to hocuspocus.com. I'll put the link below in the description. Shop around. They got lots of great magical items. Fill up your shopping cart. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.